Take the pretty one, her father told the Duke. He chose the rejected sister instead. The great hall of Alderwick Manor had never felt so cold. Tall windows let in a pale afternoon light that revealed every flaw, every crack in the marble floor, every whispering noble, every nervous twitch of the family assembled before the Duke of Ravensshade. He stood apart from them all, dark coat immaculate, posture relaxed but alert, as though nothing in this room could surprise him. Lord Harroway, however, was sweating. "My Lord Duke," he said quickly, forcing a smile, "allow me to present my daughters." The Duke inclined his head slightly. His gaze was sharp, observant, far too perceptive for comfort. He had not come for pleasantries. He had come to choose a bride. Everyone knew the arrangement. Alderwick was drowning in debt. Ravensshade was one of the wealthiest and most powerful dukedoms in the realm. This was not a romance. It was a transaction, dressed in silk and courtesy. "Step forward," Lord Harroway commanded. Arabella moved first. She was exactly what society adored. Golden curls arranged just so, porcelain skin, a delicate smile practiced over years of balls and banquets. Gasps followed her, as they always did. She wore pale blue, the color chosen to match her eyes, and stood as though the room existed to admire her. Then, a beat later, Eleanor stepped forward. She wore gray, not because she loved it, but because it was what remained once Arabella had chosen first. Eleanor's dark hair was braided simply. Her dress was modest, her posture straight but cautious. She did not smile. No one gasped. The Duke's gaze flicked to Arabella first, as expected. Then, unexpectedly, it lingered on Eleanor. Lord Harroway noticed and panicked. "My lord," he said hastily, leaning closer, voice lowered but not low enough, "take the pretty one." The words landed like a slap. Eleanor felt them more than heard them. She kept her eyes forward, jaw tightening. She had known her place in this family since childhood. Arabella was celebrated. Eleanor was present. The Duke turned his head slowly toward Lord Harroway. "Is that so?" he asked calmly. "Yes, yes," Lord Harroway nodded, eager now. "Arabella has been trained for this role. She sings, dances, charms, everything a duchess should be." The Duke said nothing. Instead, he stepped forward. He stopped in front of Eleanor. The hall fell silent. Arabella's smile faltered. Lord Harroway froze. Eleanor lifted her eyes despite herself, meeting the Duke's gaze for the first time. His eyes were dark, not unkind, but unreadable. "My lord," Eleanor said quietly, performing a perfect curtsy despite the tremor in her hands. "I am honored by your visit." "You need not thank me," the Duke replied. "I have not yet decided." Lord Harroway laughed nervously. Of course. But surely you." "I will choose," the Duke said mildly, without instruction. He turned back to Eleanor. "Tell me," he said, "do you wish to be a duchess?" The question caught everyone off guard, especially Eleanor. Did she wish it? To leave this house where she was invisible? To live bound to a stranger? To be chosen only because she was useful? She took a breath. "I wish," she said carefully, "to be treated with respect." Something shifted in the Duke's expression. Interest, perhaps, or approval. Arabella stepped forward, laughing lightly. "My sister is shy, my lord. She has always lived in my shadow." Eleanor flinched, but the Duke did not look away from her. "Shadows," he said quietly, "often hide the most honest truths." Then he straightened and turned to Lord Harroway. "I will marry Eleanor." The words echoed. Arabella gasped. Lord Harroway's face drained of color. "My lord, surely this is a jest," Lord Harroway stammered. "Eleanor is unremarkable." The Duke's eyes hardened. "Then she will be remarkable in my house," he said. "The decision is final." The carriage ride to Ravensshade passed in stunned silence. Eleanor sat stiffly across from the Duke, hands folded in her lap. She felt as though she were dreaming, or walking into a storm she could not yet see. "Why?" she asked suddenly. The Duke raised an eyebrow. "Why what? Why choose me?" Her voice was steady, though her heart raced. "You could have had Arabella. Everyone expected it." "Yes," he replied. "That is precisely why I did not." She frowned. "That seems insufficient." A corner of his mouth curved. Not quite a smile. "Then allow me to be clearer," he said. "I have lived among people who perform for approval. They lie beautifully. You did not perform." Eleanor looked away. I had nothing to gain by lying. Exactly. The carriage rolled on. I am Duke Alexander Ravenshade, he continued. I do not require a decoration. I require a partner who speaks honestly, even when it costs her. Eleanor met his gaze again, something fragile and new stirring in her chest. I will not pretend to be grateful, she said softly. But I will try to be worthy. Alexander nodded once. That is all I ask. Ravenshade was vast, stern, and nothing like Alderwick. The servants bowed deeply to Eleanor on her arrival, calling her, Your Grace, with ease that unsettled her. She felt like an impostor wearing someone else's life. The Duchess's duties came quickly: meetings, correspondence, charity visits. Mistakes were inevitable, but Alexander never corrected her in public. When she faltered, he waited until they were alone. You do not need to apologize, he told her once, after she misaddressed a visiting countess. Authority grows from confidence, not perfection. Slowly, Eleanor learned. She listened more than she spoke. She noticed injustices others ignored. She questioned traditions that harmed rather than helped. And Alexander listened to her. The staff noticed first, then the nobility. She is different, they whispered. She is strong, others said. Letters from Alderwick arrived rarely. When one finally came from Arabella, it was brief and bitter. You took what should have been mine. Eleanor folded the letter carefully, then placed it in the fire. Months passed. The Duke and Duchess remained formal, respectful, distant, even. There were no grand declarations, no sweeping gestures. But trust grew quietly between them. One evening, after a long council session, Eleanor found Alexander standing on the balcony overlooking the valley. They respect you, he said without turning. You've changed this house. She shook her head. We changed it. He studied her then. Truly studied her. You were never the rejected sister, he said. You were simply unseen. Eleanor swallowed. And now, he said, you are exactly where you belong. For the first time since that cold day at Alderwick Manor, Eleanor smiled, unpracticed, genuine, and entirely her own. And far away, in a house that had once dismissed her, Lord Harroway finally understood the cost of telling a duke whom to choose.